The war in Ukraine continues, and it is very clear it is going to be a long war. It already has been longer than many in Russia and the United States expected, although I think the Ukrainians had a sense this was going to go on for a while. The human suffering, the crimes against humanity, the war crimes committed by the Russian troops and by their leader, Vladimir Putin, are all part of the horrors of this war. But it also is fruitful to think about what happens next. What does Ukraine look like after the war? And we don't know the answer to that question. But it seems to me there are two very different possibilities. One, some kind of deal is cut, and the neutrality that Russia has been floating for a long time and that Ukraine doesn't want but may have to live with comes to pass. That would be, in some sense, unfortunate because it feels like this war would have been for a lot of human suffering for an outcome that they might have gotten at months ago. But there's another scenario as well, which is that Russia's military continues to be humiliated and that the Ukrainian military is able to make the cost of staying in Ukraine too high for the Russian military, and they push them out because they're losing too many troops. And if that happens, Ukraine doesn't have to be neutral, but it does have to be prepared for another Russian attack. And we get a Ukraine that is very militarily strong, very armed, very prepared for war in essentially the middle of Europe. And that will change European politics, and that will change the security arrangements that people like to talk about so much. We don't know what's coming down the pike in Ukraine, but we need to begin to think about and be prepared for several different kinds of outcomes.